Hey everybody, it's Tony George from DocSports.com. Click yourself on the link in the description below and get a free $60 from the best sports handicapping website on the planet. You know it's Tuesday, late in the day, and you know what that is? Home from the studio, taping a little different approach in terms of our set this week. The marquee matchups in the 10 and 10 with Scott Spritzer. Great content. Yes, I know it sounds like we're in a tin can on those. We're doing some upgrades to the studio, going to blow everything up here. That being said, we're just limping along until we get there. So nonetheless, be sure and check those out this week. We're talking NFL opening lines. I'm going to go to a separate screen here on the computer. Tony George in the Raw talking about my initial gut reactions to what I see with the NFL lines. And it should be duly noted that I had a first half of the seasons in the books. I did not have a great first half of the NFL season. I'm below 500. Full transparency. I tell you like it is each and every day on these videos. I don't blow any smoke up your ass. Bottom line here is I'm going to have a better second half. You can sit back and watch me. Because being below 500 in the NFL is absolutely and totally unacceptable from a professional handicapper. Nobody knows. I don't need to go on social media and read forums about how big of a piece of junk I am. I'm filtering in the NFL. College football been well to us. 7 out of 9 winning weeks, kicking butt and taking names, top place crushing it. I need to do the same thing in the NFL, and we'll start with this week. And there's some buys this week and a shorter card, and we'll narrow down a couple, and we're going to nail them and get on a roll here second half and finish extremely strong. Let's get to the games. That's why you're here. If you have any comments or anybody you like, leave it in the comments section. I go back in the back end and I filter out the haters and this, that, and the other. Although I do love my haters. Trust me, I read them all. And we'll put them up for you. And I'll answer some of them in the comments section. So let's get to this week's slate. And we start out this week with the LA Chargers. Off a very surprising win over Green Bay. A total domination, a first half complete domination. And I had Green Bay in that game, because the Chargers invent ways and find ways to lose. They have all year until last Sunday. And they don't win at home. And they won in Carson, California. I wouldn't necessarily call it home. And word is now floating around that the LA Chargers' new home will not be in LA, but will be in London, which is a frickin' joke. First of all, being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, any AFC West team that's got to go to London once a year to play them for a conference game, that's a serious disadvantage to them. That's a bunch of crap. I hope that doesn't come to fruition. But nonetheless, the Oakland Raiders currently are +1, total 48.5. In this Thursday night game. Going to be a good football game. A rare good Thursday night football game. Oakland still thinks they can win this division. Patrick Mahomes may be coming back this week. I think Kansas City will have a lot to say about that if Mahomes stays healthy, especially the way Kansas City's defense is playing. But this is the biggest game that John Gruden has coached with any meaning since he's been at the Raiders. So I'm going to reserve comment other than to say this might see an over. Until a little later in the week, I get a few things. There's a couple of injuries there I want to take a look at before I get too excited about that game. Speaking of AFC West, Kansas City, word is Mahomes is going to play. Matt Moore has filled in nicely. There was a big point adjustment for him in terms of power ratings that I continually reduced. Because Matt Moore played well, not as well as Patrick Mahomes. He brings an entirely different dimension. Tennessee, you can't figure them out. They're just not playing well. Kansas City, 3.5 at CG and circa 4 at everywhere else. I see Westgate's got them at 3.5. Everybody else got them at 4. Mirage. BetMGM doesn't have a line. The Stations doesn't have a line. I would think Mahomes would probably play. If he does, Kansas City's worth the take. Buffalo, Cleveland. This is an interesting game. Cleveland laying 3 everywhere. They're 2.5 at William Hill out here. The total is 40 most places, 40.5 at stations and 39.5 at Westgate. You might see an under game here. That was my initial reaction at 40. I thought this would open in the 30s. This is do or die for Cleveland. Buffalo, one thing about Buffalo, and I've been a little high on them this year. They got exposed a little bit in the Eagles game. You could run on them. If Cleveland's coaching staff is smart enough to run the football, they probably can win this game. Because if you take a look at the collective win and losses of the teams, the 6 teams the Bills have beat, their record is like 5-36 straight up. Just saying. Arizona, Tampa Bay 4.5, total 52. Take the over. New York Giants taking on the Jets. Oh, the toilet bowl. The toilet bowl at the Meadowlands. Here it is. And you have the Jets opened up at 1.5, and now you've got Giants up to 2.5. I don't think they could have played any worse than they did against Dallas. Granted, Dallas's defense is very good. They struggle against good defenses. The Jets have a halfway decent defense as well. Offensively, Darnold is not back in sync since the mono scare. When he was out, he's never gained his footing. They don't have a quarterback there that's gained his footing. Adam Gase hasn't gained his footing as a head coach. At the end of the day, the Giants are favored for a reason. Total 43. About right. Atlanta, New Orleans. Wow. 13-51. That's the number. You got 12.5s at 2 places and 13 everywhere else. Total 51 everywhere, 51.5 in a couple spots. Well, there's a line change right there. Yeah, 51.5 at everywhere but one spot now. I'm on live odds here. Looks too easy to lay it with New Orleans, doesn't it? The way Atlanta's defense plays, I don't know. Over. If I had a gun to my head, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Baltimore laying 10 off the biggest win of their life against Cincinnati. Total 46. I'd actually lean Bengals there. Carolina, Green Bay. Carolina on the road at Green Bay, 4.5. Opened up at 7, dropped to 4-5, and now you're seeing some Panther money. I tell you, the Panthers, I had some notes in this from the marquee matchup we did right here for Doc's weekly videos I do with Scott Spreitzer here. And, Rivera's done a nice job with this team. Obviously, Cam Newton placed on IR today. He's out for the season. This is Kyle Allen's team. I like his chemistry with DJ Moore. McCaffrey is the best offensive player in the NFL outside of Russell Wilson. You can throw, if you're talking MVPs, they find ways to get it done. They've played well. Rivera is 67% against the spread the last 30 times he's been a road dog. Green Bay, they got exposed last week. They've got some holes. I think that Jones is going to have a real tough time running against Carolina, especially with Kuechly running around there. Linebacker Davis, they got good tacklers there. A good tight end can hurt Green Bay. Olsen's a good one. I can only take the points there. Total in that one was what? 47. You might see some points there. Detroit, Chicago. Chicago laying 2.5, 42 is the total. Detroit. I'm not putting anything on Chicago when you got 9 yards offense in one half of football. Trubisky, okay, he looked a little better in the second half where they called off the dogs a little bit. Trubisky, he should have his ass on the bench. The guy that traded up for him in the draft should be fired, and Chase Daniels should be starting. And their defense, so many 3-and-outs. You're seeing holes in their defense now, which was vaunted as being equal to 85 Bears. Not even close. And Matt Stafford's the best quarterback in the game, bar none. Miami, Indianapolis, Colts laying 10.5, 10, 11.5, all over the board. I'd say the consensus is 10.5, total 44.5. They look good with Fitzpatrick in there. I'll give them that. Oh, I tell you last week on the opening line report. What I tell you? Are you read between the lines? Take my early leans here. I said, what are the Jets doing lane points? Anybody on the road? Colts, Hoyer, Brissett. If they're smart, they will not play Brissett at quarterback. You don't need to beat Miami. Resting. You're in the middle of a playoff hunt. You're in the middle of winning a division. Resting. Put Hoyer in. Get by Miami. If Hoyer plays, I'd take a look at the Dolphins there. Rams, Pittsburgh. Rams 3.5. Pittsburgh 44. Well, I tell you, the Rams. Cook's out. They just haven't done anything offensively all year long. And their defense, they got a quarterback that's barely 60% completion rate. Pittsburgh's playing better, getting their feet under Rudolph. They're at home. 3.5, 4 at stations right now. That hook, off. I definitely put Pittsburgh in a teaser. Dallas, Minnesota. Dallas laying 3. Minnesota on the road, back-to-back weeks. Got beat by Matt Moore last week at quarterback. Early lean would be Dallas there, total 47. I don't know. Maybe under. What's Minnesota like 9-2 their last 11 against NFC opponents on the under? I had that here. Minnesota giving up 6.6 yards per play and 5.8 yards per carry their last 3 games. What's Zeke Elliott going to do? You know what he's going to do. Seattle, San Francisco. This is your Monday Night Football game. San Francisco 6.5, total 46. Would you tease them down to pick them, or would you tease Seattle up to plus 12? Seattle on a teaser plus 12 looks awfully tasty. Stick them in there. I don't know. Detroit with another underdog. What was the other underdog I liked this week? Just going to look. Tease them with Detroit. Detroit 8.5 and Seattle plus 12. I've got a real strong opinion on this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to put it out as a big premium play for Monday Night Football, so I'm not going to tip my hand there a whole lot. Total might be a little high at 46. The way San Francisco's playing defense. That's your NFL opening line report, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Plan on me having a great Sunday and Monday, possibly Thursday, and doing a lot better for you in the NFL, and we're going to keep kicking ass in college football. Right there, DocSports.com. You clicked on the rest. Click on the best now. Come on.